Assalamu alaikum, hello and namaste. Welcome to another inspiring episode number 95 of the Limelight. I'm your host Fareen here, and today on the hot seat we have a very charming personality. She is the founder, speaker, host, and presenter at the Live to Love Everyday project. And she's also the co founder of Systemic Growth. So, listeners, please welcome our guest, Laila Edge. Hello, Laila. How are you doing today?
Hello, I'm good, thank you. I've just been on a walk in the woods and I come back in just in time to record this lovely podcast with you. Thank you so much for introducing me.
You're welcome. It's a pleasure to have you on my podcast.
Thank you. The fact that you have this platform, the fact that you've been doing this for so many years as well, and you're coming up to 100th podcast, it's inspirational. It's really good to see.
Oh, thank you so much. I really need all the good wishes and prayers from you all. So, Laila, can you tell our listeners about yourself?
I've got a 7-year-old son, and with my background, I was in corporate life in technology and IT for 20 years. And when you're working for an organization, you're meant to sort of be adhering to their values, and you're not
Yes.
really connected into an organization that's got 10,000 or 20,000 people. You're connected to the team and the people around you that you see, of course, on a daily basis. But when you then move and transition from that into becoming an entrepreneur or self-employed or whatever you want to call yourself, then the difficulty is that you may actually feel that loneliness, that sort of isolation. And this was even before the pandemic. That can
Mhm.
obviously happen. You're sort of in your head about what it is that you're creating.
Yes, Laila, this pandemic has changed the life of so many people, and I do understand. It's really nice to know about you, and I pray that God blesses you and your family with all the health and happiness in life.
Thank you for having me.
So, what really inspired you to start Live to Love Everyday project?
The ethos around the Live to Love Every Day that to me, I've got a 7-year-old son, and I felt very much when I had him that, what is it that I want to teach him? What is it that I want him to understand and grow up with in this life? Because he doesn't come from my background. I mean, he's a very privileged boy, and he's going to be potentially very spoiled if he doesn't understand mine and his dad's upbringing. But equally, I didn't want him to just feel our suffering and how much we have been struggling to get where we were. So for me, it was kind of like, well, no, he should just appreciate the lifestyle that he's got and not take it for granted and have gratitude towards it and understand that, in the Western world, in the UK where I live, there's a certain standard of living which is very different than if you're from Thailand, which is where half of me is from, or where you're
Mhm.
from Sweden, that's my other half. And I mean, I grew up a year in Kenya as well, so I've sort of seen all different sides. But my son, he was going to grow up in a very privileged position because of where both his mom and his dad had struggled and essentially won by having good jobs, getting good income. And for me, it was then, okay, well, I want him to learn to live, to love every day. And that to me is about appreciation, is that actually whatever happens throughout the day, whether it's what you label as good or as bad, whether it goes to plan or not, it doesn't really matter because actually at the end of the day, you're alive, you're learning something. Every day is just one day closer to your dying anyway. So you might as well
Mhm.
laugh and have fun with it. So for me, it was very
Exactly.
much about that, can you learn to not take what you got for granted without necessarily going into suffering. I've got on my wall celebrate, because to
Every
me
day is a
it's like,
celebration.
yes, every day is a celebration. I don't need to go into a state of, oh, I got to lose my limbs in order to for me to feel grateful about life, or I got to be going through some kind of suffering. I've done my share. I don't need to bring that up all the time. To me, it's not about what's happened in the past. To me, what I want to do is I want to create something in the future.
Yes. And I have seen the podcast which you did, I think last month, three to four of them continuously, one after the other. They were so amazing, packed with so much of information.
Well, exactly. I mean, what I'm about, the values I got, the value I got about value, feeling like, what we're creating here is useful, but allowing people to then take out of it whatever it is that you need to take out of it. You know,
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
this true for you? If so, great. But the first step really for you to transform or change or create something is that you go there and educate yourself. Go
Yeah.
there and actually learn how others have made it, and allow yourself to actually being open to getting all of this information. And
Mm.
that is then what actually creates, people want to engage with you because you're fun to be around. Okay, cool. Yeah, you're fun to be around too. Excellent. You know, it's a
Right.
party here.
Exactly. And I think your summit, which is Body, Mind, and Soul, it's coming up again in October 1st. It's going to
Yeah.
happen, right?
So the
Yeah.
the summit is called Body, Mind, and Soul Virtual Summit for female founders around the world. So what we're
It's,
trying to do here is educate female founders that, and it's not just female founders, it's for
mhm.
everyone, but that constantly be working isn't productive. All you're
Mhm.
doing is creating busyness as opposed to creating a busy business.
Yes.
You're creating a busyness as opposed to creating a business. And what it means is that, it's not about sitting at your desk or your kitchen table or wherever it is you're doing and posting all the time or engaging all the time. It's actually taking a space back where you say, okay, what does my body need right now? How can it help me become more productive? What is it that I can do to tap into intuition, to trust that actually everything will be okay, and using that to leverage and become more resourceful? How can I become more focused if I'm using my mind in a way that, take away all the distractions of the doubts of the imposter syndrome of, all of those thoughts that really are just cluttering up.
I think that is very important for us at the
Yeah.
times like these.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, Laila, after all these serious talks, I have a fun segment for you, which is called the rapid fire round, where I will be asking you three random questions about you and you can answer them in one word or a sentence, okay?
Only in one word or in a sentence?
Yes, it's up to you.
Oh, okay. This is a challenge. Okay, come on then. Yeah, go on. I'm up for this.
Okay, let's start. Now, the first question is, if you had to meet a famous personality, who would that be?
The first one that came into my mind was Tony Robbins, but
Mm,
there are too many great, awesome people out there that I would love to meet.
right.
Another one is a Brazilian entrepreneur called Ricardo Semler, because he's the
Okay.
one that sort of opened up my eyes. He's done a TED talk
Mm-hmm.
um, that talked about purposeful living, and that work really is part of um, part of your life and not
Mm-hmm.
your life. And when I heard it the first time, I literally it made me open up my eyes to what I was doing, because I was a workaholic. I still am,
Oh.
but you know,
Okay.
in a different way.
Wow, I will surely check. I will surely check him out. Yeah. Okay. My second question is, what is that one strangest thing you have ever eaten?
The strangest thing I've ever eaten. Ooh, crocodile.
Wow, that is awesome.
Yeah,
How did you
I
feel?
well, I can't even remember. It was one of those things that my dad had, my dad from Sweden, he'd bought in
Mhm.
the in the food hall, and basically said, apparently this is crocodile. Would you like to try it? And like, yeah, sure. I can't even
Okay.
remember what it was like, but it was like, okay. I think other people
Okay.
might think that this is strange. I've eaten moose,
Mm-hmm.
and reindeer. Um,
Mm.
I did not eat crickets. I was in Thailand and I
Oh,
was invited to eat crickets, and I didn't do that. That I couldn't do. But yeah,
okay. Wow. Mm, lovely. Okay, my last question is, this is regarding the talk which I heard about you. And this is, which is your fastest manifestation till date?
the fastest manifestation.
Yeah.
So I will give you a very fast manifestation, and also the most recent one that's just come
Mm-hmm.
into place. And I'm sorry, this is not one sentence at all, but
Okay.
but
Yeah.
basically yesterday I had a day with my son. It was Sunday, so we had a wonderful city
Mm-hmm.
stroll in a city called Winchester here in the UK, and the sun is shining, and it was
Yeah.
lovely. My son is 7 years old, and he
Mm-hmm.
loves his mom very much, so I get lots and lots of hugs. So we were walking around, and I say to Oscar, where do you want to go? What shops do you want to visit? And he said,
Mm-hmm.
Mommy, can we go to a sweet shop? And I
Mm-hmm.
say to him,
Mm-hmm.
okay, of course we can go to a sweet shop, but I don't know that there is a sweet shop in this city, where we were going in the high street.
Okay.
But, we of course we can. And as you can imagine, then we're walking through, we're
Mm-hmm.
meandering, as it were, and then we take a right turn, and I look back, and as I look back, I can see that there is another road,
Mm-hmm.
and lo and behold, it's the old sweet shop. It's called.
Ooh.
There was a sign saying the old sweet shop, and it was a
Oh
sweet
my God.
shop. And that was within 10 minutes of Oscar saying, can we go to a sweet shop? Um,
That was
so
cool.
my son has definitely got the whole manifestation thing. He,
Yeah.
we say we have a phrase together. What we say and what we do makes things come true.
Mm, yes, it
So
is true.
he learned that from me, and he believes it because he's seen it for himself. And I
Mhm.
pointed out to several times to him that, you know what, you just said that you wanted that, and guess what? That just happened.
Mm, that is
So
superb.
if we can actually wire our brains to actually seeing that, I mean, scientifically, this is the
Mhm.
reticular activity system, right? So
Yeah.
this is actually backed by science. If we are actually wiring our brain at finding something or looking for something, then we will.
That was awesome, and your answers were so amazing. I had so much of fun with this. Now, just the last segment we have where I want you to give advice to our listeners.
Live to love every day.
Love it, love it. That was short and sweet advice, and I have to thank you so much for taking time from your busy schedule and doing this podcast with me today. I thank you so much.
You're very welcome. Thank you for having me. This has been fun. Every conversation we have, every interaction, I love it. You got good energy, and it's such a pleasure to be part of what it is that you're creating and what it is that we are all co-creating so that we can actually live to love every day.
Yes, for sure. Okay, listeners, if you have liked this interview, please click on the like button of the Limelight page. This podcast also will be on Apple Podcast, Spotify, Anchor, and do subscribe there. And I will also be giving you details regarding Laila's project, Live to Love Every Day, and her summit details. Please do join. Thank you for listening, and Allah Hafiz.